Welcome, my beautiful collective. Thank you for joining me. I'm Lotus Sage. So today's reading is do this to get the best out of your day or week, however you choose to use this reading. We'll get some practical advice. We're going to be using the karma cards, some oracle of the ascendants, and the traditional tarot, but a rendition of. So you have three choices to pick from, as per usual. Your first pile, or the first pile, excuse me. You have this crystal. Pile 2. This is your crystal. And pile 3. So take a second, my loves. See which crystal card, excuse me, see which crystal card is calling your attention, and I'll see you at that choice. Welcome, my beautiful pile 1 who chose the amethyst crystal. So we're going to look into the karma cards first, and they have an emotional and an action side. However, the first card, whatever side or color shows up at the top, is going to be the energy that we are reading for to get the best out of your day or week, just so that you know. These two cards over here are going to lend to what we've discovered in these cards. These two over here are going to be, again, some more practical advice, but some questions to ask yourself also some guidance. We're going to get into some tarot cards too to get a little bit more, some more depth into what's being asked of you or suggested for you to get the best out of your day or week. All right, let's get started first with the karma cards. So you have action side, you have the sun. I will read them to you because they're supposed to be read in a sentence. In Libra. So Libras can be significant for you. Does not have to be. And then in the third house. So my lovelies, for pile 1, do this today, or do this to get the best out of your day or week. Let's see what it says on the spiritual realm. It says, demonstrate relationships by making the right connections. So what I'm feeling off of that first sentence here is I feel like it's either to show, I don't want to say flattery, but it's almost like to show your complimentary and engaging and charismatic personality if it's in the workplace, trying to create longer lasting bonds. And it can be also just networking, getting yourself out there, advertising yourself in a way that you hadn't before, getting seen in another way. There's a lot of that energy. On the mental, it says, realize the beauty of the idea in question. So what is the idea in question? What are you trying to get out there to get seen? Who do you need to network with? What are the right connections for you? And then act like a leader. Do it with your partner or partners and get your ideas going. Yeah, it's taking the initiative, my lovely. That's what it feels like for you guys, pile 1. Taking the initiative on your specific ideas about what you've been thinking about, what you've been growing, what you want to network, or what it is that you're trying to get out to be seen into the public eye. And whoever or whomever you might be working with, get them on board if they're not already, or get them to get you, not get them, they're probably helping you to get motivated, but share your ideas, share what you're wanting to experience, or what you're wanting to express, or how you're wanting to express yourself throughout these new connections that you're making and through your work. Interesting. All right, pile 1, let's see what else we got. We have the 𝒫𝒾𝓁𝑒, which talks about a sense of eternity, so long-lasting. Represents cycles, life and birth. It again feels like, it does not feel like for you, my pile 1s, that this is like your first go-around. This might be your first go-around at this particular thing, but this energy of, again, being that leader energy, stepping into the spotlight, getting your work or something shown or being seen in some way is not new to you. It's also talking about progress, revolution, competition, and moving forward. So again, all of this it feels very heavily based on creative output or your work, or again, some form of yourself being visible to the collective. It's a reminder, or an encouragement, I should say, for you to remember it's time to move forward. You may have been dwelling on, I don't know, past situations or inaction in some way. That might be why they're saying act like a leader, and get your partners to help you if you feel a little bit stuck or, hesitant or feeling like you can't take any action, get your ideas going. But moving forward is required now. Beautiful. And then you have Ouroboros. Beautiful. Talk about cycles, right? So speaking of, again, cycles, infinity, and a sense of totality with that Ouroboros. It feels like there's a sense of like healing a part of yourself or a part of this energy that felt unlucky. I don't know how else to describe it, but now like either perceiving it in a different way that is creating a new sense of luck, or this opportunity will be fortuitous, or something along those energies is what I'm feeling. There's a sense of unity, of magnetism, like I was talking about, that charisma, of cleverness, of spiritedness, a sense of, again, this energy of this flamboyancy of being seen really in the spotlight. Like I'm getting a lot of gold colors anyway, specifically for you guys. You're being asked to expand your horizons and to explore the many facets of your subconscious. Again, all of this is about being seen. I cannot stress that enough for you. Like, what new adventures await you? That's what this is about, my love, the expansion of you. For this, to make the best out of your day or week. So take that initiative, my lovelies. Okay, let's see what we got here. It says, retreat means withdrawing from what can harm you as a way to keep yourself whole. When you retreat, you hide yourself away so that you won't lose yourself. In offering no resistance and creating no friction, retreating bears fruit in small, inconspicuous ways. What must you do to stay safe and whole? How can you change your relationships so they support your integrity? And I actually feel like they're reminding you of like this cycle of when I was talking about like the cycle of things that didn't feel like they were working out for you, or weren't, they weren't lucky and they just kept falling apart. I feel like that's what this energy is. It's sort of like you had to withdraw for a certain amount of time to feel safe. And now I feel the cycle is complete with that, for that particular thing to step you into what Spirit wants you to do now, which is, until the old is utterly stripped from you, that you have no choice but to think in new ways, you will only recreate old patterns. Look at what we're saying here. Do not imagine your future and make plans now. Do not imagine the future and make plans now. Bring your energy back to the center and honor the process of transformation. What has worn you out? Is there a less painful way to let this go? What is underneath the surface? And this let this go is the perspective, of how you may have been, or how you're thinking about how this particular cycle might unfold. And I don't think it's going to be nearly as negative as you might be assuming or anticipating it to be. Okay. Yeah, let's get these first. Your amethyst crystal, phantom quartz. Sorry, look at it again. Phantom quartz. Expression, gifts, and originality. It fosters prolific energy and opens a crown chakra to channel creativity, in all its forms. Individuality is encouraged and uniqueness in expression is embraced by the stone. It instills confidence in your creations and urges you to share your talents. Using intuition as a powerful resource, Amethyst Phantom Quartz connects you with your spiritual team to convey your ideas in a way that will stand out. Wow, wow, wow. Convey your ideas in a way that will stand out. Prolific creative energy. It's beautiful. Do yourself a favor and show the world what you've got. Come on, Pawan. Like, what have we been saying? Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Jupiter, Neptune. Look at you. Wow. Okay, and let's save this one after the tarot. Let's get some tarot, Pawan. So we're gonna get, I think 7 cards will be the right number, considering. I may fast forward this part depending on how long it takes me to get them out. You have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Death in the reverse. Ooh. All right. So, Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Death in the reverse. I just heard I'm afraid of repeating a cycle, a pattern. And then 8 of Swords. So, again, for me anyways, your first 3 cards are echoing to the same energy of what we were feeling over here about this past cycle of feeling like things didn't work out. Everything that you planted sort of just never really came to fruition, you know. And I think that what this is referencing, you're afraid to repeat something or afraid to have the same end result, and that's what's keeping you in your head sort of hesitant, possibly hesitant to move forward. That inaction energy I was getting, or I put that focus on the partner or your friends to help you, you know, get those ideas going and out there. Beautiful. Let's get the next 4. 4 Cups. 7 of Cups in the reverse. 5 of Swords in the reverse. And the 2 of Wands in the reverse. You know what's interesting? Even though these bottom row cards for me individually, besides the 2 of Wands, aren't necessarily, you know, super great or super bad, to be honest. But what I'm feeling here is it's really good, though. It's like I feel like you've come to terms of recognizing that you can't really like sit in that energy. And like if opportunities are missed, they're missed, but there's always going to be something else to go towards, to achieve. It feels like you've made that choice, you've made that decision to fight, in other words. That's the best way I can say. Fight for what you want, fight for what you're going after. Not overly getting discouraged about past disappointments, even though it's still there and it's still lingering. I just don't think you're putting as much focus on it. I don't think it's not bothering you, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it's, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like as melancholic as a 4 of Cups that I normally feel when I see this depiction. And this choices and these illusions and the delusions in the reverse, like, you know, you're not competing with that type of energy anymore. And I think that's more about with yourself. And it feels like you already know what you want to do. Like the plan has already been set. Like you know where you want to go. Like you are holding this opportunity in your hands. It's just a matter of you allowing yourself to truly get out of your head and just take that step. You know, like that's what I'm feeling here. And I get 3 more. I thought I was going to do 7, but not the case. Then you have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. the Knight of Wands in the reverse. I'm telling you, like it's very calculated, it's very sure, it's not rushed, again, because I feel like you've already been through some of this process already. Like you know where the pitfalls are, is how I want to say this. And you're not going to allow yourself to fall either as far down or get tricked or, you know, manipulated in the way that you felt like you did before. Or just duped or misinformed or, I don't know, too young, too green. Yeah. Out of that sorrow. Like Five of Cups in the reverse. Out of that sorrow. Wow. Bottom of the deck energy. Two of Cups. Perfect. You know? Finally getting what it is that you need. That union, that connection, that right partnership. It feels, like I said, like there's like a feeling of like repeating a bad cycle of luck. You know, like that's what this feels like. And I don't feel that this is the trajectory on which you're on. I feel like you've completed that. And I think that if you allow yourself to believe that truly, you will start to perceive it and feel it more clearly. You know, like there is this feeling of I'm walking away from all of it's like a poverty mindset, the lack, the aloneness, the isolation, the feeling of misunderstood, of not getting my chance. Like that's the energy I'm feeling with this. And it feels like to get the best out of the day or week, this is where your focus and your mentally has to be, because this is a lot, you know, this is a lot and heavy energies, but you're dealing with it. Like I said, it doesn't feel like you're like festering, I should say, in it per se. It's just like, okay, this is what I got to deal with. Shit's the shit. So let's move, you know, like I feel that for you. All right, my lovely, your closing message. And you have the red agate. Stability, grounding, and truth. Boom shakalaks, sorry. It says, a stabilizing stone. It's used to balance the mind, body, and spirit, creating harmony in all areas of your life, much like the patterns on the crystal itself, grounding and supportive. It helps to reveal inner truths, cleansing beneath the surface, to expose your authentic self. A wonderful stone to heal resentment. Agate frees you from self-imprisonment of inner anger, replacing it with safety and security. Agate takes its time, vibrating a slow and steady pace, and encourages you to take as much time as you need for the matter at hand. Mercury and Jupiter. Boom. Yeah, so fair enough. Take as much time as you need, but it does feel like when it comes to this action set, like the belief in what you're creating, that is a go, 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 go. This process of the believing, of the trusting, of the knowing that this can take your time, you know, but it does feel like you need to trust a little bit more in your own ability, because you're doing amazing, Pawan. Like, I know it probably does not feel like that at the moment, but these are awesome. Like, demonstrate your relationships to making the right connections, realize the beauty of the idea in question, act like the leader that you already are, and do it with your partner or partners, and get your ideas going. Your expression, your gifts, your originality, the stability that you can find, the grounding in the truth of the matter, you know, the completion of this cycle, the time to move forward. A little bit to come out of the safety zone, but while still protected, you know? Oh, my beautiful collective of Pal One, I hope that was helpful for you to get the best, or do this to get the best out of your day or week. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time. Ciao. Welcome, my beautiful Pal Twos, who chose the lepidocrocite. Is that right? Hello? Lepidocrocite. Lepidocrocite. We'll read that later. Okay, my Pal Twos, so doing this today, or do this to get the best out of your day or week, we're going to start off with the karma cards. The karma cards have, are to be read in a sentence. They have a blue and a red side. One is, the blue is supposed to be the emotional, the red is supposed to be the action, so to speak. However, with the first card that shows up, whatever side or color, that shows up is the energy that we're reading to get the information and the practical advice for the best out of your day or week. These are going to be some additional messages to add to what came in here, some advice, and some guidance, of course, and then we'll get into tarot to get some more details, some more context, some more advice, etc. All right, pile 2, let's see what we got here. We have the moon, the emotional. I will read them to you. As I said, they're supposed to be read in a sentence. The moon in Aries. Again, the moon in Aries could be significant for you guys. Does not have to be in the 4th house. Interesting that they all came up in the same color, so. All right, my pile 2s, let's see what it says here. It says, the nurturing of energies to meet the challenge of what makes you feel secure. So my love, it feels for you, what they're asking you to do to get the best out of your day or week is to nurture and meet. So you need to, they're asking you to nurture the energies that you feel that will allow for you to feel safe, for you to feel seen, for you to feel secure. Feelings caused by your desires regarding support. So there's a lot of emphasis on relationship dynamics, personal or professional. It feels a little bit more personal, but you use these as they resonate. And then it says reactions resulting from the honesty and strength of your home or family base. So altogether, it says a nurturing of energies to meet the challenges of what makes you feel secure. Feelings caused by your desires regarding support. Reactions resulting from the honesty and strength of your home base or family. So there is either something about, I'm getting interestingly enough about communication. I know that there's no air signs here per se, but there's something very strong about this communicative energy here. And I'm not sure if it's how we're expressing our emotions in the moment of feeling unsafe or unsupported. I'm not sure if you're not feeling, like I said, seen or heard in your family base or in your close unit, your close environment. But what Spirit is saying is the main focus I feel for you is to find how you can nurture the energies to meet the challenges of what makes you feel secure. And I think, again, I'm getting a strong emphasis on how you communicate when it's like emotionally charged conversations. And it may not just be you communicating, it could be whomever or whatever the dynamic involves. Interesting. Because they keep pushing me back to reactions resulting from. Like, was somebody really honest with you? Were you really honest? But how was it delivered? When was it delivered? Was it insensitive? Was it truthful? Like, there's something about that in there. Okay, well, let's find out. Let's get some more energies anyways. And then you have 𝙃𝙗𝑒. Beautiful. So the 𝙃𝙗𝑒, or Mayo, if I'm pronouncing that right, roughly means great being of the universe, shine on me, can also mean great shining light. It embraces the idea that the physical body was constructed as a manifestation of the spiritual body. So again, when we're talking about that emotions or how we're delivering it, how it's being expressed in some way, there's a very strong feeling around that. It's also believed by this Reiki symbol that it coordinates the belief that all illness within this physical body begins as an illness in the spirit. This symbol cleanses the body and heals the spirit, providing wholeness. It's asking you to ponder your life, ponder your path, ponder your goals, your desires in order to guide you in a loving, compassionate, and abundant way. Cleanse your life of unnecessary energies. If it's not for your greater good or your own good, it's not necessary. So again, it's about this reactions. There's a really big, strong feeling about that. I think it's just being mindful of how your physical body is responding to the emotions that are being felt or not expressed or being repressed. Interesting. Let's see this. Septagram, beautiful. The septagram represents mastery, knowledge of the energies of the 7 planets. It's about the flow of energies on the earth. It's associated with the elven and the fairy folk, excuse me. It's a portal to the realms of the elves and the fairies. You're being asked to be introspective, to look within to solve the problems. Your answer is already manifested. That's interesting. So this is really, again, about, I think this is a deep dive into, again, specifically about how you respond emotionally, react, how that affects your body, what it does to you, what you repress, what you don't say, how you actually deliver it. It's very, very deep in that way. It is feel very introspective for sure. Okay, let's get some more. It says, to be ignorant is a creative, harmonious way to engage with your world. Don't go running after answers, as if it is embarrassing not to know. Holding steadily to not knowing and hence to learning will bring good results. What do you know? What if you didn't need to know all the answers now? How can you learn from your experience? I think as pile 1, how the energy seemed to be playing out with this particular card here, it feels like it references a little bit more of your past energies and how you may have dealt with it in the past. Not to say that it was not useful or needed at the time. It just feels like a theme as I'm doing these readings, that this is no longer a part of the process for you to heal this part of you. And again, to be ignorant is a creative, harmonious way to engage with the world. And I think there is a part of that ignorance that has caused some of this reactions now either to bubble up or to be repressed. You know, because you had to, you know, be the observer, be the student, be the receptive, be the receiver, you know, for a while. And I think now there's this nurturing now of you instead of other, of without, you know? How can you learn from the experience of your past, you know, to eventually shine and show your truth, be your authentic self? Interesting. Let's see what this says. It says, you contain contradictory impulses within you or see a situation from 2 angles at once, perhaps as things are and as omens. If you can scale down matters to small affairs, it is easier to give space to both visions, even using the opposing view as creative stimulus or challenge. And I think this is what this is referencing here too, even more so. You know, the opposing view of whatever honesty or strength in that honesty, wherever that came from, whoever's closest to you, that usually can hurt you the most because they know you the deepest or know those buttons to push or those triggers to engage. Interesting. What if the difference were not a threat? How could this tension be creative? If you can't see eye to eye, what can you see? And again, this introspective questions, that's what this is for you, my lovelies, to make the best out of your day or week. It's the emotional introspection on how you've been, how you're choosing to react now or respond now, and what possible triggers are amplifying this energy within you now. Interesting. All right, let's get your crystal that you chose. Your advice before we get into the tarot. Lepidocrocite, open heart, grounded and teacher, perfect. Practical and methodical. It approaches spirituality in a tangible way, grounding practices back to the earth while staying connected to source energy. A great crystal for teachers or anyone who wishes to pass down spiritual teachings. It values tradition and educates without judgment, sharing wisdom for humanity's highest good. Lepidocrocite helps with committing to your Lepidocrocite helps with committing to your life's purpose, staying focused on the task at hand, and taking action in order to make progress. Each day you are one step closer to your dreams. Sagittarius and Earth. We're going to look at this one at the end for your guidance. Okay, so my love, that's what it is. It's asking you to find that open heart, grounded, and teach whomever may not be, again, making you feel so... Oh! There goes the deck. This deck is so slippery, so sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Jeez. Anywho, as I was saying, we're going to get some more details, maybe some ideas of what's been going on. Originally, sorry about my squeaky chair, I was gonna get 7, but for pile 1 we ended up doing 10, so let's save first 3 cards. What do we got? Pile 2. Page of Swords in the reverse. Strength card in the reverse. Alright, so I already showed you this guy. Strength in the reverse. And the King of Cups. What I'm hearing is your approach needs to be emotionally mature. And I then heard you are approaching it with emotional maturity, but there is something that you're not... You don't believe it somewhat. Like that's the truth. Like I can feel that there's a sense of knowing what to do, but can't really truly believe that it'll work, or that that's the way to get what you're seeking in some way. This is interesting, Paul, too. Give me a second. What I'm hearing is like almost in denial of your own power, of your own strength. I'm almost feeling a sense of like too much. Not you, that you might feel like you're too much, or your feminine or masculine expression of something is too much. And so you temper it, you tame it down, and you subdue all of this emotion, like you withhold all of this emotion. That's what it is. And again, back to this observer, quiet, receiving, taking. Meaning like absorbing, just taking everything, good with the bad, you know? There's something about this I'm not fully grasping yet. Hold on. I'm not sure if you're choosing to be docile. Like, I don't know if that's like a legitimate, like, practical choice for you. Like, I'm choosing to be this way because of, again, the energies to meet the challenges of what makes you feel secure. Resulting from the reactions resulting from the honesty and strength of the home base or family. Like there's something about like you're playing a role. We all are, but this one is like deliberately the only way it feels that the only way that you can sort of handle or withstand this situation is to play it this way. And I actually think Spirit's telling you it's time to step through that portal now. And no longer ignore this part of you, or ignore the things that are not working, that are making you feel insecure and not supported. Seven of Pentacles. Ace of Cups in the reverse. The Moon again. telling you, there's so much about emotions here. And I think more specifically repressed. Or, yeah. The High Priestess in the reverse. Like, can they tell you anymore? It is time to speak up. Speak up, I'll do. Yeah, my friend, like all this work and planning and taking, like I said, taking in, and you not getting filled up and you filling up everybody else's shit. You having to like put your emotions to the side, curb your feelings to attend to somebody or something else. And now I feel like Spirit's like, my friend, it is time for you to speak your truth. For you to step out from behind the shadows and delicately, gently, and elegantly assert your dominance. Quite literally. There's a very passive and fragile feeling within this. I can't even say it's feminine or masculine. It's just fragile. In its depiction, it does not feel fragile to me. Like the actual person, you don't feel fragile to me. You feel like I said, you've been playing a role for a specific reason. Regardless of that reason, it's now time for you to let that go, or to put it down, and again, step into the 𝒫𝒾𝓁 energy of that magical portal. That is you. You know, like, damn, 𝑒𝙁𝑚. Okay, 3 more. Yeah, you've been giving too much anyway. Emotionally giving too much is what I'm referencing. And again, emotionally, however that is in every aspect of your life, there's just, it's not, again, you just don't feel as much support for you as you give out. 8 of Swords. Ace of Swords in the reverse. I wonder, 𝑒𝙁𝑚, are you afraid in moments of being alone or being left alone? Are you afraid that if you were to speak your truth that there would be nobody around? Because that's awesome. That's not awesome. This is awesome is what I mean. The Queen of Cups. How beautiful is that? The counterpart to yourself. That's what I'm feeling, my lovely. You know, and I was just talking about, you know, are you afraid of being alone, of feeling alone, of being separated from something that, you know, is a home base or family unit? And I think that might be some of the hesitation, or why you've chosen to be so docile or be so compliant. But Spirit, I'm like, sorry, my lovely. The Spirit is telling you, like, you're not living in truth that way. Like, if you continue to just appease to be at ease, then you're not gonna feel fully you. That's the best way I can say that. So why this Queen of Cups here is emotionally mature and stays in her power. Like I said, reclaiming your gentle power. Looking at what was not truthful in your expression before, how you overthought everything prior, how you needed to speak up because of the repressed emotions, because you weren't getting fulfilled, because you're the one mainly doing the work, having to maintain and withhold everything in you while everybody else took on your strength, took from you. That's what I feel. Yeah, my friend. You have the 4 of Swords in the reverse underneath the deck. Like, I'm feeling twofold with this. Like, you need the rest from this, but moving away, like, you don't need to rest here. That's what I feel. Like, you wouldn't be able to get any rest here. You know, like, you need to... I don't want to say need to, and I keep saying that, and I apologize. You don't need to do shit. You can do whatever the hell you want. The point being is, Spirit is really leaning towards, for you to get the best out of the day or week, is to recognize this within yourself and realize what your true power is. Look at this, your masculine, feminine energy, and that spirituality of asking you to step out into it, step into it, step into that portal, step into that light. Wow, Paltu. Okay, your closing message. This is your crystal. I'm pretty sure it's lapis. Yeah, lapis lazuli. Royalty, transformation, and immortality, right? Regal in all forms. Lapis lazuli was prized and sought after in ancient Egypt when it was believed to have powers of immortality and the ability to expand the heart's capacity for love. It guides the soul and protects its journey from life to death. True wisdom comes from within, and lapis lazuli facilitates that by unearthing your core truths. Core truths. This stone appears when you are ready for a spiritual transformation and takes you to the depths of who you are, unveiling deeper awareness so that you can become the leader of your own life. Like we just said, Sagittarius and Venus, Sagittarius and Earth, Sagittarius and Venus. Exploration, spiritual exploration, time for growth. Temperance in the reverse. Time for growth. Again, it's about a belief, my friend. It really is about a belief, a talk, conversations with self or other, but the nurturing of the energies to meet the challenges of what makes you feel secure, the feelings that were caused by your desires regarding support, and the reactions resulting from honesty and strength of your home base or family. What do you know? How can you learn from your past experiences? If you can't see eye to eye, what can you see? I love you, Paltu. I hope this was helpful in giving you what to do to get the best out of your day or week. Until next time. Ciao. Welcome, my beautiful collective of Pile 3 who chose the emerald. Okay, so let's find out what to do to get the best out of your day/week. So we're going to start off with the karma cards, and they are supposed to be read in a sentence, which I will do. They have an emotional and action side, the blue for the emotion, the red for the action. However, we are only reading the color of the first card on top, whatever flips up. Whatever color is on top is the sentences that we are going to read. Then these two cards on the side here will be adding to the messages here. This tends to be talking about past energies, but it may not. We'll get some guidance. This usually is talking about just some more advice or some guidance. Some more advice or some food for thought. Then we'll get into some tarot. Okay, Pile 3, let's get it. So you have Mars, the action side. I'll read them to you. In Aquarius. So Mars in Aquarius could be significant for some or none. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. In the 10th house. Wow, this feels very work heavy, my Pile 3s. Same with Pile 1. Okay, so let's see what it says here. It says, energize your vision responsibly. So I'm feeling, what are you putting into what you're creating? Like how much effort, how much time, how much research, how much love are you putting into what you're creating? And what are your responsibilities at the moment? Are you putting into them with as much gusto and love as required? Then it says, confront what's new and different about success. I think that's pretty straightforward. I think they just want you to look at what is new in this day and age of creating your own self-wealth, of creating abundance, of different streams and revenues of income, of passive income. Force yourself to use an unconventional way and become a person of power and status. I'm gonna read that again. Force yourself to use an unconventional way and become a person of power and status. So again, it is talking about how the main thing for you, I feel, Pile 2, is what are the different ways that you can create success in your life? How many different avenues or ways can you tap into this abundant network of ask and ye shall receive? Of putting in the work, of putting out the energy, so to speak, and of taking the initiative in whatever sparks whatever sparks you, what sparks that This is a good choice. If you have difficulty making choices, it doesn't feel like your energy does. But if you do have difficulty making choices, it feels like you need to trust those moments and sparks of inspiration and follow them without doubt. Interesting. Okay, let's see what else we got. We have Sigil of Avalon. Very cool. I don't know, for some interesting reason, I just heard 5 months. I don't know why, but it's what I just heard. So again, speaking of instinct, right, of following that spark, that Sigil of Avalon is referencing to natural healing, magical abilities, in tune with the flow of nature. It's reminding you that your decisions should come from a place of wisdom, calm, and strength rather than rashness and bias. Maybe that's that fiery energy there of that spark. Interesting. It's reminding you to listen to your inner self. So again, speaking of instincts and intuition, it's not about going after it or going after what you're seeking, like the success in a way that is rash or bias. You know, it's about confronting the different ways and the new ways about success. That's beautiful. Let's see what else we got. The moon, beauty. Yeah, a lot about instincts, intuition. You have an interesting blend of 𝛑 1 and 2. 𝛑 2 had a lot about intuition and instinct. 𝛑 1 had a lot about finances, creativity, and money. You guys kind of have a mix of both. And obviously the moon represents the feminine energy, calming, reasoning, passivity, emotions. Again, talking about immediate action isn't needed right now. That's interesting that you have so much fiery go energy, but I think the go energy is in the confronting of what's new and different about success. The rest of it is about that receptivity and the passivity. That immediate action is not always a correct path to take when tackling a situation. You might be approaching a situation from the wrong direction if you are going at it like rash and biased and harsh and without thought, without calm. You have to examine both, in other words. The moon tells you to focus on the passivity, on the deep thought, and calculated, reasoned action only after both have been examined. So it's a little bit more of a pause for you, my lovelies of 𝛑 3, but it doesn't feel like the want is the pause. It's just about how you go about getting this want. This one says, taking small steps, you are going beyond boundaries and structures, still paying close attention to them, responding and adjusting. That's exactly what this is. This is a creative way to engage with the world. The call of the bird in flight reminds you not to go against your nature and overreach yourself. Scaling down your aspirations brings you blessings. What small things can you do to meet the needs of the situation? How can you take even more care? All of this, literally all of this is what it's saying. How can you take more care? How can you use that responsibly? How can you force yourself to use this energy in an unconventional way to get to where you're going? Is that right? No, we're going here first. The crystal you chose, which is the emerald. Spring, unity, and vitality. Lush and reminiscent of the green of spring, emerald is known as a stone of successful love, stimulating loyalty, partnership, and friendship. Emerald opens the heart chakra, healing the auric field with unconditional love, hope, and joy. With exuberance and a lust for life, the emerald is a sign for new beginnings and a fresh start in life, radiating health, prosperity, and vitality. Grow in the direction of your dreams and nurture yourself along the way. You deserve the riches that life has to offer you. Sagittarius, Venus, and Mars. How beautiful. Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm feeling for you. This is what you're trying to create. All of it's very supportive. Let's get over here now. It says, Subtly penetrating means becoming part of something or someone, feeling your way into things, yielding gently to their nature. Such influence does not bring sudden transformations. It creates small success, taking small steps. Have a clear vision, energize your vision responsibly, of the great person in reality or in your mind's eye as a model of the larger possibilities implied. How can you get to know this form inside? What is taking shape? How beautiful! How can you get to know this form inside? How? Force yourself to use an unconventional way. Confront what's new and different about yourself, success, a person of power and status. How do you view that? Beautiful. Let's get some tarot. We'll look at this as your clothing guidance. So for each pile, I've gotten 10 cards. Originally, I was going to do 7, but it didn't happen. So depending on how long these take to come out, they might get fast forwarded or not. We'll just see. Pile 3. 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. Six of Cups in the reverse. And the Tower in the reverse. Okay, so I already showed you that, great. And the Tower in the reverse. Ooh. I really feel like you're legitimately having to break down a method of doing something. Like something that had been tried, tested, and true is almost not applicable now. That's what it's feeling like. So it feels like you have, I want to say finally, broken a particular cycle when it comes to, I just heard the haughtiness of money. Like there was an old perspective of an aristocrat or an elite or the wealthy that was sort of like this formula to get there. And if you weren't a part of that or weren't privy to that, you weren't going to be able to step into that door. And this is just a hypothetical or an example. And however, you being somewhat, this is for some, not for all, somewhat born into or exposed to that, you thought, if I follow this, this is a guarantee. Again, hypothetical, this is a guaranteed million or guaranteed success, guaranteed abundance. And it didn't work for you. Like that's what I feel like, it didn't work. Or even if it did, it wasn't nearly as prosperous as you were anticipating. It became much more difficult, or it started to deplete or to drain. It drained in some way. That's the visual they're giving me. So it feels like you took matters into your own hands and decided, I have to do something different. I have to go about it different, which is now confront what's new and different about success. Force yourself to use an unconventional way, which is what you're doing. You're forcing yourself to not go to an old version or an old way of doing something when it came to juggling or balancing or whatever it is that you're toggling right now in your life. Very cool, pile 2. Okay, get some more. Or pile 3, excuse me. 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. King of Pentacles in the reverse. Four of Swords in the reverse. When I was pre-shuffling, this is the card that came out, so I'm so happy that it came out again. Amazing. Okay, so what I'm feeling here, my lovely, is exactly that. Like, I think there's a possibility that either that for that analogy or that example I gave, like when it came to like I said, that community, that connection, or that affiliation in some way, like it doesn't, for what your soul or spirit needs, it's not working for you. You need people around you. You need people to banter with, to build with, to storyboard with, you know? Like you need the right partner, the right connection, because it feels like what you had been doing, or the connections that you did have before, it feels greedy. That's the best way. It does. I know there's no cards really to say that, but I feel a sense of what's mine is mine, you know, and what's yours is yours. That's the energy. And that's not necessarily greedy, don't get me wrong. Sorry, it feels, if we're talking about, you know, trying to build with somebody or with something to create something, you know, like it feels a little pinchy. So, especially with that King of Pentacles, in the reverse of, you know, a lack of stability or a lack of accountability is really what I'm getting. And responsibility. And that's why I'm like, energize your vision responsibly. You know, it's like, who's going to be involved? And I think that you had to move or step away or come out of a phase of, I want to say inertia. I don't know if that's the right word. So there's something about that feeling here, or that need to step away from whatever bound you to a particular set of rules or structures that you followed. You know, like now you're finally like, I'm hearing like that little bambino. That naked little bambino. I love it. That's exactly what I'm feeling, like just free and frolicky and, you know, able to do what you want to do, kind of, and how you wanted to create. Also, it's like, anyway, not just you, it's like you have more input, there's more say, there's more involvement, there's more, again, flow with nature, flow with the nature of the environment, etc. Beauty. Okay, let's get your next three. Pile three. Three of Wands in the reverse. My ear just started ringing. No longer waiting for those ships to come in. Exactly what I feel for you. Like I said, just frolicking and ready to go. Is that for you guys? No. Okay. Ten of Cups in the reverse. Maybe it really did have a lot to do with like family connections, or you know, or how they, or what you may have expected from yourself. Maybe you wanted to do like that white picket fence, home, family, and that's what you thought the trajectory was going to be, but you're like, wait, that's not the only ways to get to what I want, or to create the happiness in what I want. That's what I'm feeling from the Ten of Cups in the reverse, more specifically. It's like, I'm not waiting for this anymore. It's like, I'm going to create mine instead of me waiting for it to come to me. There's something about that energy too, again, especially with that Tower in the reverse. Like, you're fully taking the initiative, but I think that's maybe why, maybe this is what they're telling me here. Okay, what does it say here? Have a clear vision of the great person in your reality or in your mind's eye as a model of the larger possibility implied. You know, and this passivity, this deep connection to the self, knowing what one wants. Again, I do really feel like there is something about this not wanting the same thing you did before, or you just don't see it in the same way anymore. There's something very clear about that, and that might be about the energizing the vision responsibly. Yeah, I'm telling you, that Six of Pentacles in the reverse. It's like, there's something about your past, your family, the people, the connections, like you're not giving back to that. You've taken... Again, there's just nothing bad. I don't think that there's anything negative per se about it. Like, again, this reciprocity, this unevenness of like how it was when I was feeling with this King of Pentacles here, you know, in the reverse. It just, like I said, wasn't balanced, wasn't the same. Again, like I said, pinchy, right? So there's something about that energy for you, my lovelies, of you not waiting for certain things to come in, not waiting for this sort of happy ending in this circumstance, so to speak, because you know that it's not balanced, it's not equal, and it's not actually fully all that you want. Like I said, I don't feel like you have a lot of say in this particular energies here, you know, and it feels like now you're like, I'm ready to speak, I'm ready to show, I'm ready to do, but I have to now take small steps so that I don't want to skip any steps because of the past connections I may have had that allowed me to do so. That, again, this is not a bad thing. Again, it's just like having an advantage, whether or not that's, you know, you being able to, your parents buying you a car when you're 16, that's an advantage. You know, whether that's your parents being able to pay for your extracurriculars or higher education, that's an advantage. Of your parents being, you know, in a high-paying job or knowing high-up people, that's an advantage. We all have them in some degree. And this particular one is what I'm referencing, this particular privilege that you may have acquired because of either family status, environment, economic standing, just people you know, doesn't really matter. You were going about something in a way that, like I said, felt tried, tested, and true, and it had worked for a lot of people. But for you, it didn't either fit right, didn't work, or didn't feel the same. Again, I feel because energetically it's not your way. It's not your path. No? Underneath the deck, you have the Five of Pentacles, in the reverse. Yeah, then with the Ace of Cups. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, like just walking away from this ish. Even if you might feel a little left out in the beginning, or you may have, or you might at some point, you know, come back to that feeling, but remind yourself like it was never really that balanced. And now you're asked to go force yourself to use an unconventional way to become a person of power and status. That's what you want. On your own terms, right? Beautiful. Okay, let's get your closing messages. This is your crystal. And it's 𝒫𝒾𝓁. Beautiful. Generosity, security, and flow. Exactly what we're talking about here. Generosity, because it hasn't been balanced. Security in what you're trying to create. And the flow with this Avalon, sigil of Avalon. Anyways, and okay. A humanitarian at heart. Look at this in Aquarius. Look at this. It's beautiful. 𝒫𝒾𝓁 encourages the practice of helping others without expectation. It assists in facing issues with authority figures, especially your father, in order to become the authority figure in your own life, which could be this King of Pentacles energy here. I just don't always like saying that because father means a lot of different things. So that masculine archetype anyway. In order to become the authority in your own life. Right, I said that. 𝒫𝒾𝓁 helps release any blame and resistance that might be blocking you from taking responsibility for the decisions you make. Activating the survival gene. 𝒫𝒾𝓁 attracts what you need to make it through challenging moments, increasing our life force and overall vitality. Take the driver's seat. You're ready. Aquarius in Venus. Take the driver's seat, my love. You're ready. You're ready. So sit in that energy, confront, know what you want to go after, spring into that, unify that, allow that vitality to move you forward. What is taking shape? How can you get to know this form, this model version of you? What small things can you do to meet the needs of this situation? The generosity, the security, so that you can flow. I'm sending you so much love, Pal 3. I hope this was helpful. Until next time, ciao.